Now join them all. Good evening, everyone. Faster than ever, right from your home screen.
Yeah, I really haven't been on YouTube much for the last couple of days. I've been kind of background.
Well, hey there, Yank in the Philippines. Good to see you. I'm over on StreamYard if you want to join us over there. The same thing with, yeah, come over to StreamYard so you guys can come up in the panel, is where we're at. So I dropped the link there to the StreamYard. And so hopefully you can hear me now. We're talking about why there might be so many vloggers in the Philippines as just a topic to start with. And I do think I'm going to be buffering today because I'm down in Florida.
Just sitting around, huh?
Just sitting around.
Sound just went away.
Yep, just sitting around, man. How about you?
Same here. I just got done watching Arkansas get beat.
Oh, I don't even want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it.
They had them beat too.
Yeah, we dropped 3 in a row, unfortunately.
They have been in nothing since the 80s.
Not much. Not much. So,
I think I got one. I think I got a friend who's got a life team coming up with 4 or 5. So.
my subscribers the other day sent me,
Where you at, Florida?
we're down in Cocoa, Florida, down by the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay.
Port Canaveral. So we're hanging out down here for a couple more weeks.
Hey, you know, a lot of they had that Philippine newspaper, Philippine Star, or I forget what it's called, Phil Star. So,
Right, Phil
but
Star.
it was kind of misleading the statement. Yeah, it was kind of misleading because it said foreigners that have been vaccinated need only to take that test before they come, 72 hours prior. But if you read the whole thing, all the Americans that were getting excited, we're on the yellow list.
Correct.
We're on the yellow lane, which means you got to do 5 days or 5 nights and 6 days of quarantine.
That's correct.
And then move on.
Yeah.
But the way they worded it, you know, it sounded, wow, what am I doing all this shit for? You know.
Well, a lot of guys are just throwing that out as clickbait. But that's really not the case.
I'm pulling it directly off the paper.
Right. Yeah, if you're on green, well, there's a couple things that has happened lately. One thing is the Philippines now has agreed to accept the CDC vaccination cards in the Philippines. Up until just the last couple of days, they were saying, we don't recognize you because the CDC vaccination cards, because the American government didn't want to team up with the Philippines global thing and get part of their global passport stuff. So something's changed there to where the Philippine government now has said, okay, we will recognize the CDC white card.
Well, I hope they do, because this is a joke. The president over there is pissed for getting turned away because of paperwork one time, so that's why he's doing what he's doing. But they, when I first got when I had my shots, they gave me that card,
Right.
and really nobody knows what the hell they're doing over there. But I was watching this other lady's, I won't say her channel, but she's always giving updates on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they went to the yellow card because the other ones were being forged,
Correct.
printed, selling for $5 or $10. Well, it doesn't make any sense, but they have a yellow card, different formats that you can buy from on Amazon.
Correct.
What the hell is that? I told her I have my printouts, just like a prescription printout for my shots. You can't get that printout anywhere but the pharmacy. That this official thing about a card is a joke, because they, all the islands they're like a separate nation. They're all over the place. Everybody's interpreting things a different way. And for guys like me, trying to get that 9A, my wife's got that. She's having problems with her self, and I told her sister I just can't get on a plane anymore. I got to wait for her documents the one that said, she'd be financially responsible for him, that's good stuff, which that means nothing over here anyway.
Right.
But, you import everybody else and let them live off the rest of the country that's working. But she had to get, she got a barangay, a letter from them, and she had it notarized. And they want to see the original. That's why I can't scan that or PDF, copy it, because you have to feel that seal, not just look at it. But I have everything else.
Well, good.
I just got to get that. But you know how Chicago is. I mean, my God, they're saying about 3 days to process it. So I'm planning. I always plan ahead. I'll think January because that allow me a little more time in case my case gets settled here. But the way it's going now with her, I might have to go there sooner than that.
Well, let me tell you what I've heard firsthand from people on the ground in the Philippines, Americans, when it comes to the vaccination card. All right, and this gentleman has done the same thing that I did. I have both the white card and the international card. Yeah, the international card we actually got from our doctor's office for free, but you can purchase them online just like the white cards. But what happens is, you have to be vaccinated and prove that to get on an airplane. So the Philippines is not requiring you to be vaccinated to get into the Philippines. So there's no vaccination required to get into the Philippines. To move around the Philippines, to travel within the country, they want to see your vaccination card, and they weren't accepting the white one from the CDC. They wanted the international one, but what they made him do, and they've made other people do, is they made him go get a second round of shots and give them a vaccination proof that was done in the Philippines. That finally has stopped because a couple of weeks ago, Duterte came out and said, look, all members of my own party are going and getting the vaccination 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and that needs to stop. So, but they were making foreigners get revaccinated in the Philippines to be able to travel within the Philippines. Agreement with America that we will now accept the white CDC card or the international card.
So, and there's I don't know if you're aware of it, maybe you could explain it to other people, but they have that health card printout. What's his name? Rizzuto Family Vlog. That's part of the entry. You got it's a form you fill out with your whatever information, your name, and all that other personal stuff. And I think I don't know what the rest entails, but you can print that out. Now he had it printed out before he left.
And it's right, and you do it electronically now, so that you have kind of like what they're doing is they have a electronic tracking of you. So you have kind of like your own web portal or your own website within the Philippines tracking system. You register, you upload all of your documents, and that's supposed to satisfy that issue. Now, if you want to print off copies to take with you, that's great, and you should. But that's what that is. It's like a health passport.
Whatever, I mean, he didn't have to send anything in. He goes. There's a website you go to for it.
Right.
I put out the link for it. I forget what it was, but I looked at it, and it looks like It looks like the startup for a grade school cartoon hour or something.
Right.
You don't know what the hell is what when you look at it. I don't know why they want that, but he said he was there. They didn't even look. He said, "Hey, you want to see my onward ticket?" They said, "No, that's okay."
No, and there is a clear difference. What you're talking about is the online health passport that we all have to register for currently. Now, but what I've talked to other guys who's landed and got there is they're not checking anything. When you come through customs, they're not checking whether you've been vaccinated, whether you've done this, whether you're purple, whether you're blue, or anything. They're not checking your temperature. They're just taking you straight to quarantine. But they're not asking anything. Why? I don't know, but they're not.
When he went through he said when he went through, he was like, he could go anywhere he wanted, and they weren't worried. They stopped off at a convenience store before they got to the hotel, and he found a driver, which he thought was. He said, "Oh, you work for the hotel?" The guy said, "Yeah, of course he did." So you overpaid for that. You overpaid for a SIM card when you got to the airport.
Yep.
They offer you one for I don't know how many pesos, 3,000 or whatever. And he said it was illegal. He said I was walking on my own. I didn't know where. I was looking for all these people to, herd me. They were moving people in a van to be taking everybody wherever they were staying. And then after he was there 5 days, they tested.
Right.
But he was there before they lessened it from 10 to
7.
I think it's 5 now, 7 to 5.
It's 5, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 5 now. Whether or not it's 5 by the time you go is a whole different story.
That's correct. You never know. But what we were told was that when we land, a van will pick us up, a van that belongs to the hotel will pick us up and take us to the hotel.
Good.
And my friends,
How do you find them? Yeah.
Look, if you're staying at let's say you're going to Manila and you're staying at the Blue Radisson, okay? What you do is when you get off the plane and you get through customs, there's going to be people there directing you to the Blue Radisson bus. And you catch the shuttle to the Blue Radisson.
The hotel has their own bus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I went there the first time, or was it the second? I had to look all over where to find it because I walked out. There was these kind of like Avis type. It's a chain of service vehicles over there, and I paid more than a cab, but I had it all to myself. And you really don't know which way to go. I mean, everybody's having such a different story. The reason they're getting really, I think the reason behind them changing their tune now is that Thailand's open, and they don't want to lose. If they stay with this bottleneck baloney crap, they're losing billions of dollars, tourist dollars.
Yeah, everybody's just going to go to Thailand.
Vietnam shut down. Yeah, Vietnam shut down altogether. Thailand's open now. I don't know I didn't look if they have any requirements, or you just come in with a test. But the Philippines is already messing out.
Well, I think they are, and I think
So,
they're starting to see the light of day because, as you know, we went on a cruise and went to 3 different countries and had no issues. So there's people in America who's already started. They've started traveling to other countries, and the Philippines is the hardest place to get into currently. So people are going to, besides the ones that are married or have girlfriends, a lot of these guys that are just looking for women or looking for a give up and go to Thailand, or they're going to go to the DR, or they're going to go to some other country that's easier to get into.
They don't. But Thailand doesn't play. They had a problem with sex pets or so-called, over there, and they weeded that out, and they're real particular about your behavior and all that other stuff now. Now it's known that if you go over there and you try doing that baloney, you're out.
Yeah, but there are, and I'm not talking about just sex pets.
Like here in America.
Yeah. But there's a lot of guys that want to go to an exotic location.
I got to tell whoever else is listening here, when I was telling you, I made several calls, and I got transferred to a phone that never picked up in Chicago because I wanted information because I saw all these different prices. So I had these questions, and I asked Philip, I asked him, well, how long is it good? How long do you have before you actually have to take it, to use it? And he told me on a video, the 59-day visa, you have, once you receive it, you have 59 days to use it.
Right.
You're spinning there. I don't know if you heard me or not, but But according to that, they're there anyway. I mean, that's a nice little stop off, you know, for a little bit of because that jet lag really kicks my butt when I'm over there.
It
But
does.
you know, I could see them. I could see them giving you the test once you enter, and if you're negative, then you got to go to a hotel for 5 days. But if you test okay and you've been fully vaccinated, what's the problem there? You know.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with you.
The thing is with that government or that the state of mind they're in, something they make it more and more complicated, and instead of when they back it down like they have, arrive.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll eventually get back to normal, but I mean, somewhat normal. But, you know, like
Well,
a lot of people have discussed, you know, you have the green countries, which there are very few Filipinas or Filipinos living in, and they don't have a lot of money and they don't have a lot of tourist dollars to spend. Then you have the yellow countries that have a lot of money and they have a lot of tourism. So they're making money, but I do believe the Philippines is starting to wake up to realize, you know, this is going to kick us in the ass the longer we do this.
they do that for a month. If they waited a month, oh my God, Thailand would probably be the preferred number one place to go to because people get turned off and when they keep looking and trying they get turned away and they go, F it, man, we're going to go to Thailand here now. You know, forget it. Even if the Philippines opens now, we're going to go to Thailand.
Well, and I think that's partly true, and I think a lot of that comes to the fact that it's because travelers don't know what's going to happen. They could board the plane in Los Angeles in 14 hours, land in the Philippines, and be told something totally different now. You know what I mean? It's like
I saw this flight that said, and I booked. It was like I fill all the stuff out, and then all of a sudden it just disappears.
yeah,
So I call the guy up and go, "Oh, that shouldn't have been in there." And I was going to make one there and then because my wife got the papers and she went. I don't know who she went through, but I had to receive it around the 20th of October. You know, I've been away from this long, another week or two again. But I'm going to send my income. I have enough to support myself when I'm over there.
well, we can relate to that because, you know, when we booked our flights, our last leg was Jen Air really never had that flight. So even though we booked for it and we paid it, there was really never a flight. We found out when we talked to Delta, who got us to Korea. It kind of turned out that Jen Air really didn't exist. They exist, but they definitely weren't flying. You know, they weren't flying to Cebu like they said they were. So they took our money under false pretenses.
You know what? He also was telling me that he is in Bohol and he had an onward ticket. His onward ticket he bought directly from Cebu. Is that Cebu Pacific? And it was a $40 throwaway deal.
Yeah.
And he said he was wondering, he was curious about. Well, he's in Bohol. He said that they told him it just has to show that they're leaving there. One way to Singapore.
That's right.
From Manila.
That's right.
You don't have to prove flying from or taking a ferry or a boat or a plane down to Manila to go out.
No.
That kind of rule's kind of. That rule's kind of stupid anyway.
It is, but that's literally all you have to do is you show if you're on a tourist visa that you're leaving their country.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
I'm married. My family's there. You know. I
Right.
think that things should have been different for me now, but man, you know they make this thing so complicated.
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
the people that are handling it. Well, he said that the folks that tested him and all that, it was well organized, you know, and he thought it would be chaotic, and it wasn't. but they kept herding them through there like sheep, because it was busy. Lots of people coming in, and they're still talking about the limit, the allowed limit of number of people. You got to be kidding me! I mean,
Yeah.
who keeps count of that? I mean, that airport from now till maybe freaking year or so or more will be constantly packed.
Well, they're talking about the
So
travel
what you're
capacity and their travel caps, and to accommodate all the quarantine people or all the people that would have to be quarantined, especially like at Clark and other places. But they're saying there's just not. That's why they say the cap is. But they're both.
Well, you sit in the airport overnight then,
You
Get
know,
rid of that stupid quarantine anyway. If you get tested negative twice, once when you leave and once when you land, that's gonna have to be good enough, because from now until ever after, that's the way it's gonna be.
well,
And like I had said to you before, the strong will survive. Hopefully, I'm one of them. But there are a lot of people that die from the flu or complications thereof every year, and it just seems like they're not going to be content until they surpass the amount of casualties from Spanish flu.
well, part of this is going to change greatly in the next few months. And I think it has a lot to do with the political climate in the Philippines. The presidential election is coming up, and he's going to want to hang on to power. And whether he has to run as vice president in his own party, but he wants to hang on to power. So they're going to be shifting things and turning things around, I believe, before the election, so they can tell all the Filipino people, look, you got to re-elect our party. We're the ones that brought you back from the brink of death with the COVID and tourism death. We brought you guys back.
Well,
Vote for us.
there are. Well, I read the art. There's an article in the paper online, Philippine Star or whatever, and it said that they suspect he's looking for a way to, and it only applies to the president, but he's looking to keep immunity from prosecution, because they're looking to people over there are looking to prosecute him for the 7,000 dead people, and it's getting real hairy over there with all of that. And if he doesn't, then they'll, who knows? But his daughter, the only thing that can save him is if he becomes president again, which he can't.
No, but he can run as vice president in his own party. I think a bigger.
What else
Also,
people are ticked about is the fact that he does not stand up to China.
right.
His reason is, well, he says, what do you want me to do? We'd lose a war. That ain't the point. The point is you're letting them do whatever they want to do, and they're stealing resources from you.
I think one of the big key that is going to come out of this is greed and corruption. That's what you guys got to watch for.
It's like Chicago politics here, man. That'll never end, and it doesn't matter who it is. They can be squeaky clean, but if you want to play ball with the big boys, you got to get in bed with them. So
You do.
That'll never leave there,
No.
But I like it the way it is. I mean, people wise. Yeah, man.
So did you go ahead and apply for your 9A through Chicago, or did you switch to Houston?
Oh, I checked. Well, when I was looking at that guitar one that they told me wasn't valid anymore, that one would have left here to Dallas, Fort Worth, and then over to was that Dubai, DOH?
Yeah.
I don't even know. And then from DOH to Manila. So I think I'll just use the what do you call it? I was going to use or call up and let the agent handle all that bullshit, timing and all that. I don't mind being there. I honestly, I don't care about 10 days or 8 days or 5. As long as I get there, I get there, you know. I love being there, and that would enable me to, if I stay at that place, I forget what the name, right down the road from Mall of Asia, you know, you can get out and about and walk around.
Yeah, I think it will happen. It's going to take time, and until you get approved, the good news is time's on your side because things will get better every day.
Well, my question is, if I take all that stuff and I send it in, I'm going to make copies in case I know I'm going to have to come back there twice. Hopefully not with going through all this baloney, but I'm going to make double of everything. So if I do have to come back, which I suspect I do, I don't know when, I will have all this stuff in order all over again.
Yeah.
But I probably should get there sooner than later before she wigs out too much. But
no, I agree.
I've been waiting for so long. They haven't gotten the shot yet. Her and her sisters and her family. They're okay so far. I just think it, and I'm real tired of all these conspiracy theories. I mean, life is hard enough dealing with all this shit without somebody telling you how gloomy it's gonna get. How all this.
Which is understandable.
And I said, they're worried about inflation. They go, they have to have a reset. I said, you know what? The boys that want that almighty dollar to always be number one. And they're going to find a way. So that's why they raised the debt ceiling. There is no way that they're going to participate or want a reset, because then everybody's currency is even, to me, The short story of that, I believe that they don't want to let that go. They don't want to let it to start out even with everybody. And let's face it, they always say it's against the national debt, but they just print that money up to buy friends.
Yeah, money is definitely an issue.
Yeah. I just want to, I keep telling these guys that I hear, and I see these morons over there. And I think there's a guy from India that does that one, what do you call it, channel, Raw Facts or something. And the guy named a Filipino, and what if I'm looking at this guy, he's always wants to get rid of floggers, beggars, e-beggars he calls. And if I'm the Philippine government, I see this clown doing that, I would think to myself, we can handle our job. We know what our job is. We don't need you doing it for us,
Oh, I agree. When it comes to e-beggars or, you have and that's part of my question today is, why do we think there's so many people blogging? And a good friend of mine, one of our very first, if not our very first, sent me an article about why are there so many vloggers in the Philippines. And I thought it was really interesting. So this isn't nothing new that I created. It's people's different opinions. And let me just share a couple little snippets with this. This is what just people out in public say. Here's the question. Why are there so many foreign vloggers in the Philippines? And there's random people like you and me out there. And here's the answer. Let's see. One gentleman, and I'm going to keep these brief and short as one guy heard that some of these bloggers were making $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and so he wanted, so there's a what do you call that? A misnomer that people were making all kinds of money doing it in the Philippines. Somebody else says that it's because Filipinos love to have their egos stroked. They love to see themselves on TV and make good cameras, good video. that, as the population is so large in the Philippines, that you're guaranteed that if you're a vlogger in the Philippines, you get millions of hits just because the Philippine people want to see themselves on camera. So, social media is so rampant in the Philippines. Foreigners can't do a real job. So us Americans can't do a real job over there. So they start YouTube channels and become vloggers. The other thing,
I know of a few people like that.
yeah,
But as a whole, that's not true. Totally true. Any of that.
no, and one of the ones I really like is the concept that a lot of Filipinas want to come to America, and they're enamored. They want to what is this kind of worship Western culture, that they will watch all of these idiot guys like you and I on YouTube in hopes of landing their dream. So that's what is anybody?
You know what? I've been told by women and friends that I have that a lot of people over there, they're dreaming to marry a foreigner for whatever reason it be. Everybody's married to somebody in the world for some reason.
Sure.
Whether it just be love or a combination of love and income. Because, after a while, if you don't have the income, that strains that relationship when you don't have money. And I don't care who you are and what you say today. If you're 19 years old, you're lying. You don't know. You don't know.
Well, yeah, there's no question.
Life is a real bear. The reason why I'm doing it, or why I'll do it, is just for the people that know me to see how I'm living.
Sure.
Just I got several different cameras now. I'm waiting. I'm not doing it for a living. And I told a couple of guys when I started, I said I don't want any money. I don't need anybody's money for any reason. I'm not going to be. I don't need it. I said I'd rather you donate it to someone in an organization to help people out, because I don't need that at this point in time.
Yeah,
never will. But
the real crust of the question is why are there so many in the Philippines, not so many in general? Because we could have a relationship with any other country in the world, Russia, for instance, and we would still be doing our thing. But the real question is, why is there so many in the Philippines? And I think there's some validity to what some of these guys has been answering, going, well, look, I do think Filipinos love social media. I think we all know how much Filipino people love taking pictures. So I think that kind of plays into that social dynamics, which is fine and great. And then I think there's a whole lot of people here, from a guy standpoint, I think a lot of guys who hang out in the Philippines knows that the majority of men worldwide find Filipino women attractive. So if they put sexy Filipino women on their channel, they're going to get views and likes.
To me, it's so obvious when I see it. I go, I can snip that out right away. I look at that and I'm thinking to myself, the way they talk and act is to me, and I'm not a prude or nothing. What is a country of women that you think of, that the whole other parts of the world think of as easy to get? That I don't look at it like that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question.
Some people will marry for any reason.
Right. Well, that's a good question. Do people think that Filipino women are easy to get, easy to marry, or do they just think they're beautiful?
They do. I know they do. I didn't do it because I thought I could. I wasn't even into it when I first started looking at it. I wasn't really looking. But
so you think a lot of guys think Filipino women are easy?
For observing that for 9 years, I mean, everybody likes to help their family. There's always these circumstances involved. it's all, you know, it should be a case by case basis. But a lot of these guys that do this thing, say, look what I got, and I'm 66. You know, well, you're not talking about a freaking a prized cow, you know, or a painting. You know, people, guys do those things for whatever reason they do them for. I'm not like that. I've been on that thing for 9 years now, and I want to go there because I love everything about it. I could live anywhere in a city, province, or whatever.
Well,
And
I
if
think
never had
this. Here's something I think. I think, look, there's no question that I believe that there's a lot of Western men who target Filipino women, one, because they are beautiful, but also because they're sweet, nice, and they are looking for a way out of their situation,
Right.
looking for a way to improve their situation. And if they find love while doing it, then that's even better. I do think that happens every day, and I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that. I also think that a lot of Western guys like Asian women in general because they like the culture that they come from. You know, I would tell people that a lot of times dating a Filipina is like what it was in the United States in the 1950s when men and women had different roles than they do currently. And a lot of Western men from all different Western countries like the thought of having a wife and not a quote, quote, partner, so to speak, but having a true wife and what that means from like the 1950s or so. So that's kind of what I think. You know, I don't know. What does anybody think?
They their society as a whole is better than ours.
Hey, Robert
we used to
Kennedy.
have that.
Yeah.
We used to have that family thing here,
Hey,
respect
Robert.
and all that. Not that not everybody is like that here or there, but I see it more there. You know, if you sit, a lot of people, if sometimes they would just shut up and observe and sit in the background and watch and learn. It reminds me of before my mom started working. You didn't walk on people's lawns when it said beep off. Now people do whatever they want to do. They don't respect shit.
Right.
But
Well, let's ask.
There were consequences for things you did.
Hey, Robert, let's ask Robert. Robert, why do you think Dumaguete is the vlogger capital? Why do you think Dumaguete versus maybe Cebu or Manila? What is it about Dumaguete? Any thoughts on that? I don't disagree with you. I just don't know why. Because I personally am kind of fond of Cebu. Obviously, my wife's from there. So that's, just a thought of why. And one thing I learned, Lorelai and I haven't been doing YouTube for about a year and a half. And I'll tell you, something that I learned starting this was before the pandemic hit, right before the pandemic hit, was there's a lot of people that were vloggers who, because they had no jobs, they were at home because they had no jobs during the pandemic. Now that the world is getting back to normal, you see all of these professional live streamers, is what I call them. I call them professional live streamers, who will spend hours and hours and days on live streams, talking or just playing music or singing. Well, those people are going away because they got to go back to work. So I do think the number of vloggers are shrinking, and hopefully the content that's being developed on YouTube is better than what it was during the pandemic.
I got to meet and know the people I know in the circle that I'm in right now through because of this pandemic, and there's always having fallouts. I mean, I can't stand somebody that's you can be drunk all you want, but you don't sit there and cuss somebody out in front of people. try to put them down. I don't. I got, I haven't been on that much in the last 2 weeks, and I've been feeling pretty good. It's almost a constant thing because you see somebody on Friday where I have my live stream,
Right.
and then I see the guy from Thursday is on Saturday, and then he's on Tuesday, and I'm like, you know what? How much could have happened between Thursday and Saturday?
Nothing.
Because when he's on mine, he's on another guy's, so there's nothing new.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm doing this just to have a little bit to do because I've been retired for over almost a year now, and I've been not working for over a year and a half. And
Hey, Ken, why don't you guys join us over on StreamYard? I dropped the link. If you want to come over and join us over here, you're welcome to. Well, my point kind of by that is, that article or the question that my friend James, who James Robinson, one of our very first supporter, sent me was all these things about why there's so many bloggers in the Philippines. And I think it's a valid question and a good question. And I don't know if it's a lot of it because people are bored.
I think people just want to have something to do and tell their story, but I think a lot of people fail to realize there's 20 other guys out there doing the same thing you are, but I just plan on doing everyday events. I'm not doing no charity stuff. I'm just putting it out there so everybody I know can see what it is I do.
Right.
And where I live. I didn't retire to be working a full time again. I'm not going to sit there and take 8 hours to edit a video,
Well, and see, and the funny thing is, for me, that's part of the reason I got into doing it was after retiring from teaching all these years, doing video editing and doing teaching videos is actually how I kind of got started doing videos. And it kind of gave me an outlet, a creative outlet that I could do.
I'm never going to be in competition with any of those guys. When I first started watching, I think there was Philippine Dreams, the Ned guy,
Ned,
Brown, and Enrique, and I heard this. I heard this guy. I don't know what makes people think they can go over there and start spouting out like they do here. It just ticks you off. But this one guy he would start saying, he'd start attacking somebody's character and personality and
troll.
This back and forth stuff that you did in middle school, and I don't like that. Yeah, I don't need. I'm grown. I'm 60 now. I don't need somebody to do that to me. I don't want to live in another. The reason I like it is because it's different there. I don't want these guys changing.
Well, I don't disagree with you.
Hey, well, a lot of Filipinos are getting involved in vlogging now, and I have a couple that I put their channel name out, and watch their content or played in the background so they can get their watch hours. Because I couldn't possibly go to 100 different like I have and give them all time.
I think everybody ought to become vloggers. I think the world is where everybody needs to be a vlogger, no matter where you're at, because we learn so much about everything from other people. So I get excited when I see vloggers from all over the place, something new. I mean, when we run across somebody and they go, "Hey, we know who you are." I'm like, "Well, that's cool." And they tell me, "Oh, I learned something from your channel." And I'm like, "Man, that's great. That's all I ever wanted."
You'll find people siding with other people. And I told her last night when I had mine, I said, because in recent time, every time somebody's lit up, this one guy calls this one guy an idiot. Now he says, who else here has ever said that? I said, there's a difference when you're sitting around talking and you go, that idiot don't do nothing. you're just going, that guy don't know nothing, whatever. But you don't go on live and then look at him and call him an idiot in person.
Well, that just brings up a really, really good question. What is a vlogger? There's my buddy Ronald. Good to see you.
What's up, Tony?
Hey, waiting on you.
But that brings up, Ronald, we're having a great conversation about vloggers in the Philippines in general. But here's my question now, because what we just thought about was, what is a vlogger? Is a vlogger anybody who's on the internet? Is a vlogger somebody who's a hater or a troll? Or is a person who's a hater or a troll not a vlogger, but just a troll and a hater?
It'd be different levels, man. Different classes.
Well, the term vlogger is video log. So if you're putting in content, then you're a vlogger. But if you're putting in bullshit, then you're the other guy.
Then you're bullshit. Is that what you're saying?
I like anybody can say anything, and I've never been perfect. I never admit to it. But all I as of late, I just don't like, I look forward to getting on there, and I don't want people ranting and raving at each other all the time. It doesn't. Nothing good comes of it by the end of the day.
Well, but now, look, if we want to play devil's advocate, and say, a hater on the internet. No, I don't know many because I don't pay any attention to them. But maybe they have valid content because their content is all about hate or about discontent or a different opinion than what you and I have. So even though we don't like what they say, are they still a valid vlogger? Or do we have to discount them because we don't like them? Right. But what if we don't like their content?
I'm never trying to tell anybody how they should be. I'm just showing how it is for me.
Correct.
That's it. And that's it. I mean, I have Ronald there all the time, all the time. It's like we have the same apartment sometimes, but I don't go on. I share experiences. I don't, you can do whatever you want the way you want to do it.
Well, go ahead, Ronald.
I'm not trying to run you.
Tony, I was married to two Filipinos. You married to one. David married to a Filipino. It's just like the Philippines. Don't try to figure nothing out.
That's
there are so many people that try to, man, and they try to make it like it is here. And there's nothing more embarrassing than a person from where you're from ranting and raving in public. It's embarrassing. It's shameful.
But that's okay.
Well, at least no one died.
Right.
At least what?
No one died.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's I just found that question. Ronald, what happened was I had my very first subscriber who still stays in touch all the time. A great guy, lives out in California, sent me an article about why there's so many vloggers in the Philippines or associated with the Philippines. And so I read the different articles and I read a bunch of different answers from people like us who chime in their 2 cents. And I just found that a very interesting topic because there seems to be more vloggers in and around the Philippines than there does anywhere.
I think it has a lot to do with the language.
Oh,
They can go
good point.
English.
Ooh.
Because you ain't going to do a whole lot of vlogging in the Viet Cong and trying to talk to the locals.
Yeah.
Ronald,
Anywhere else, Thailand.
That's a fabulous point. That's actually really, really good because you do get
That's what happened to mine. They speak. Everybody even the nurse girl from Nigeria, she's speaking English.
Well, I think you got a valid point because I look at it this way a little bit, Ronald. is look, one, you still have an Asian culture, right? So you still have that exotic culture, but you have English. So you have the best of both two worlds for people that like the Asian cultures. That's a good point.
Makes it a hell of a lot easier on the blogger.
It does. And it makes it easier on us when we travel there.
Language.
That's it. You know,
I think it's that. It could be a couple of other factors, but the main one for me would be to think, well, if they can, go around, they got a problem, talk to somebody that understands English, then they get Chinese.
I think that's great. I mean, I do. I also think it's about social media. I think the Philippine people love social media. They love taking pictures. And I'm going to give the Filipinas and the Filipinos a lot of credit. They are happy people. So it makes good content when you're showing happy people versus very conservative Japanese people versus very happy, Filipino people.
Conservative Koreans.
Right. Or the Chinese that are very conservative. So,
Yeah, especially. I mean, we won't do a whole lot of blogging in Russia.
Correct. Or North Korea.
Or China.
Yeah. I just found that kind of an interesting concept or question. So I thought, we'll kill some time today. And how are you doing up there where you're?
Clouds, this is nice.
Well, Lorelei and I, we're down in Cocoa, Florida, down by the Kennedy Space Center. And that's, we're going to be here another couple of weeks. We're Airbnb-ing it. So.
Nice.
So.
How was the rest of that cruise?
The cruise was great. I'm telling you. There's more videos coming out every Sunday and Wednesday because there's so many of them.
All right.
But
I've been on 7 cruises.
Really? Wow.
They ain't the same.
Wow. Which one was your favorite?
In the Navy.
Oh.
None of them.
Well, maybe you need to go on a cruise ship, You might like that.
Yeah, I was on a cruise.
You're a real cruise.
This wasn't a ship. This was a floating city.
Oh, wow. No,
the USS Nimitz.
Okay. When we were down in Alabama a few months ago, we went to the USS Alabama Museum.
Right, of course.
Huge. And that's, what, 50,
Tony.
60 years old?
Yeah.
Right? I see you matching colors today. What's going on over here?
I don't know, man. My guys they don't get on TV no more because they've been losing this year. So they're like 1-3 or what, 2-4, whatever they are.
Who we got in the room? Oh, Ken's here. What's up, Ken?
Well,
J3 is here.
Yep, J3's around. And Ken Hugger's around. He's
But,
working.
a lot of people think they can make money off this YouTube thing. And it's a lot of work for little money. There are a few people that make good money. But that is very, very hard to do.
It is.
You have to have the right. There's that guy over in Thailand, man. This guy at CB Media, this guy's probably in his 30s, something like that. And this guy's doing cars, girls in cars, drag racing, drifting, adventures. This guy's going all over the place. I've seen live streams that he's done where there are 1,400 people on a live stream.
Yeah.
So he gets to live in the nicest condos and all that over there.
But do you recognize the fact that just like in the Philippines, that's just way too many sorry stores.
Oh, sure.
And that's way too many Philippine bloggers.
No, not Filipino bloggers, just American.
Not Filipino, but about the Philippines, there's so many. that just like sorry, you can't make no pesos because everybody's doing the same.
You
That's it.
gotta have the right. You gotta have the right personality, that right, and get the right audience and keep them. Now he does cars and adventures. So everybody he appeals to are anywhere from 12 to 50. You know, he's got a pretty wide range.
Right, but the people that want to get over there, they want to see something.
All like I told him, all I'm doing it for is to show friends and family here what I do. Where you know, so I'm not. I'll never. I know the differences over there, and I'm not going over the complaint. I'm leaving that stuff behind here. You know, that people love to complain here. It's a national pastime next to baseball.
That's why we got so many Karens and Beckys.
Yeah, how would you like to have a name Karen and everybody? You know,
Can you imagine Karen in the Philippines?
I got a cousin named Karen, and she's a sweetheart. You know,
She wouldn't make it in the Philippines.
No.
That poor name, man.
Hey, that poor name got beat up over the years.
Yeah, well, sure did.
But I agree with you.
I for one, I like the people, and I like the people I know, and I like the little thing I do here. And when I'm there, it'll be the same way because how many ways can you show a car drive? I'm showing everybody I know how I live. I'm not looking to make money. I'll never be monetized. I don't plan on any of that. And I'd rather, if anybody come on my channel, what's his name, like to do that for me too, Canadian guy Dennis. But I said, give it to a charity, man.
Hey, Tony, I got the secret weapon. You want to see?
Oh, yeah,
What's the
see,
secret?
got to see, Andy.
You want to see?
You want to
It's like
see?
a zero here.
Well, I got a gap opened up. You want to see?
I see.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the secret weapon right there.
Ronald's gonna be a stand-up comedian when he gets there.
Yeah.
When he grows
I
up.
have to fix this seat. Yeah, when I grow up. See, I learned on Sesame Street last week. Want to see?
Yeah. Can't call him a dummy, huh?
No, I'm working on it.
But yeah, I think everybody
No, I mean-
ought to try to become a vlogger. Personally, I think it's a great thing. But I do believe that if you're going to try to make money at it,
Yeah.
you're going to
You
be
know what?
mistaken.
I think I just like to show my piece of the world. That's all. My life, you know, just a little bit. I'm not gonna let it consume me, you know. And I'm not. I don't need it, you know. I got enough of that crap here. Go there and you know, I don't want to go to a place that's flooded with foreigners. I don't go 8,500 miles to hang around with every American. I don't want to be in a town full of Americans, you know.
Me either.
I'm in a town right now full of
I
old
might
people.
wave and sing.
They were-
I'm in a town full of old military.
Man, my dude's on.
we went and had lunch earlier, and I thought I was in a geriatric home. So
Oh God. Oh man.
thought I was
You
in.
get that 4 o'clock special?
Either that, or Rolling Stones were giving a concert later on.
You know,
Where?
but,
Well, if you ever see a group full of 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds,
I'm the rock
I mean,
and rollers.
look at Keith Richards. That guy smokes a carton every other.
he's
every
still
4
alive
days,
and kicking.
man. He's still living.
And the drummer just passed away.
Yeah, Charlie Watts. He was my dad's age.
Yeah. Man. Well, I mean, them guys had it made all these years. They done it all, did it all. I mean, time to go. What else can they do?
Oh, you know what, David? I don't know if you knew it, but on that night I showed you, a 90 visa form, they got a section in there for anybody out there don't know. It says social media.
Correct.
All right, what part of social media are you involved in?
Wow.
That's
Number
because
11, I think.
yeah, that's because
And I put down.
the Philippine
I
government.
know
if
why
you-
they do it.
Yeah, if you want to make money, they want to get their cut.
Yeah, because a lot of wankers like that Indian guy that I'm telling you about, It doesn't even belong. He's not even there. It's not even this country. But he goes out his way to talk about people like he's doing a service to gooder, you know.
Well, I think that, and I do think the Philippine government, for all their faults, I think they recognize that, and I'm going to try to be careful about what I say here, but they recognize that if you have a good looking Filipina with you on your channel usually explodes and gets much, much larger. And therefore your revenue stream is there. And so therefore they're looking at the fact that you're making money off of their resource, the Filipina, the Philippine citizen. And so the government wants their cut of you making money off of their resources. That's what I think.
We know one guy that tried that and it didn't work for him. Pretty established, and it just got a lot of bad press for him. Showcasing a little. What they doing? I'm not one of those dudes. I'm not doing it for a living. Hopefully, I never will have to. I don't right now.
Why don't they get
working every minute of the day? I get done. I did that for how many years?
Well, I don't think most
40-something,
people do.
45.
To be honest, I don't think most bloggers Philippines does this for the money. I really don't. I don't believe that. I think they may think, oh, I'll make some money, but I don't believe people get into this for the money. Hang on. I got to taste my wife's cooking. You guys want to see it?
Yeah, what you got? Lorelai, what you hook up? Ooh.
No, it's good.
Don't make anybody good at you.
But, some years ago, everybody probably knows who Bud Brown is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a few years ago, and I like Bud. He's a former teacher, so I can kind of relate to him. A few years ago, he didn't even know, and he'd been doing vlogging in the Philippines for a long time and had a huge following. He didn't even know that he could be monetized.
I think he might have, but he never cared about that. And then he decided to do it.
Right.
So he went from 25,000 down to
5,000.
13, 5. I don't know. But I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he lost subscribers when he monetized.
His stuff is just about his daily events there.
Well, and he's funny and entertaining, to be honest.
Look at there's something for everybody to watch out there. If you don't like that what's his name? Who's that other dude, the Omar guy? You know what? If he was on a live
Andy
stream
Omar?
with Steve Montelli one. Yeah, he was on a live stream with Steve Montelli. He used to do he had a YouTube channel, and I told him, because he's always saying this or that about the other guy. I said, if you like Rike, I said, if you don't like what he's doing, don't watch his station, don't watch his channel.
I agree.
If it upsets you that much,
Turn it off.
then don't.
Yeah.
It's free. I said
yeah.
Enrique's got this single guys, his books or whatever he books to for how to romance a woman, all this crap. And I said, you know what? Most of us don't need that, but some people out there do.
Well, the funny thing about,
but like I said, if you like him making money from that, then you do something.
don't buy it. But the funny thing about that is one thing I tell people is you don't need to pay anybody on the internet for anything, because all the information is out there. You just got to dig a little bit. So, but if you want to give somebody $50 to tell you how to hook up with a chick, well, whatever. But you don't need to.
You know what? If you've never been married, or you've been married once, and you're 60 years old, just for a number, and you've never, you don't know how quite to go about this because you've been out of the game so many years. You might want to use something like that. But obviously this guy didn't, and I don't, so I don't watch it. So if he's watching it and it upsets him, he
Don't
has
watch.
issues with himself.
Don't want. That's what I do with the news. If I don't like the news, I turn it off.
Yeah,
Don't watch it.
create your own fairy tale land there.
But you know, some of it, you know, David, most of it's free on the internet, but it's like 7-Eleven. It's convenient. You don't have to do nothing
Correct.
to go there.
Well,
So you-
one guy told me once.
So you got to
guy
pay for
told
the
me once,
convenience. That's right.
What's his name? He moved back to America, but he told me, he said, listen, because I used to ask him all these questions. He said, believe it or whether you know it or not, Google's your best friend. So if you don't like the answers you're getting, I would have people on my bus go, they'd ask me directions, I'd tell them. And then they didn't like that because they didn't drop them off a foot from their door. So they asked somebody else. And by the time they go around the bus, they're confused as hell.
Yep.
And they come back to me. I said, look, I'm not being rude here, but I had nothing left to say. I tried. You didn't want it. So have a nice day.
Yeah.
You know.
What can you do?
But Ronald, I agree with you. You got to pay for convenience. So if you want, look, I
told
taught
the girl,
content. You know, I
told the
gave
girl on
out.
the bus once. I said, hey, she says, how do I get to the bus that goes up Silver Spring? And I said, well, I got 2 more stops here. You get out here and you walk up a block. I don't walk anywhere, she says. Well, I said, well, I guess you're not going to get there then, are you?
But you know,
I don't walk anywhere.
I did private consulting work, you know, back when I was able, and people would pay me for the convenience of solving their problem. They could have done the exact same I did if they would take out some time and go do it. But instead, they'd rather pay me to do it, which is fine and dandy. But you don't have to do that. So
No.
I don't dislike anybody on YouTube. I haven't found anybody. There's a couple of trolls out there that I kind of find gross, but then again, I just don't watch them. You know, and I think it's sad that we have people out there attacking people for no other reason than to try to get subscribers and viewers. You know, I think that's sad. But if that's what they want to do, you know, it's like Howard Stern and being a shock jock, you know.
You think about it. In life, believe me, not for me, I got fewer years left than I used to before. So I'm not spending those.
Fewer than you know.
I'm not spending those with other people that act like we're in middle school, and we got our own little clique, and we don't like them. Then they come over by us with everything they know, and you create this big to do. You know?
Yeah.
That don't faze me now.
Not me.
Doesn't
But I'm
phase
telling
me.
you, we ain't got much time left. So technically, we only got today 2 hours left. We can guarantee tomorrow. You know what I mean?
2 hours left. You only get 2.
Oh, well, shit. We lucky if we can finish this hour.
Unless you owe taxes, then
Yeah.
then the government's gonna make you stick around and pay those taxes. Then you can go.
They're going to get it out of somebody.
But I agree
For
with
sure.
you. You know, everybody needs to just take a chill pill in life and be happy and be supportive of others. And, you know, I get people that disagree with me, but I don't care. You can disagree with me. I don't really care. If you don't like our stuff, then don't watch. You know, I mean,
I disagree with them sometimes. I don't let that bother me.
right. You know,
I
mean,
disagree with everybody.
Every day.
and I actually think,
But that don't
Ronald,
stop
that's a
me
good
from
way to
doing
be.
what I need to do.
No. But you don't hear, which is a rarity, and everybody else is, that the next day you can come back to another stream or whatever, and he's not going to talk about yesterday.
Right. I don't do that either.
When you're jawing with each other, he's the only one.
Yeah.
Only one that I know where we come back the next day, he doesn't kick it up again.
Oh, no. I don't have time for what happened yesterday.
And you know what? That's why I like him the way, as much as I do.
I barely
That's
had
down.
time.
Because of that.
Yeah, I barely have time for today, more or less, worrying about yesterday.
You see the thighs on that chick. Oh, God.
What is you watching?
Halftime football game.
You gonna make me go to 24/7?
The sideline reporter. Oh my God.
Oh,
I told you, Jonah caught me. And she was like,
Yeah.
I see you at 24/7 Asian in my glasses. I'm like, girl, don't worry about this. What we do. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
If I was there, I wouldn't be on no 24/7.
No, I'm not there. What's that in your glasses?
Yeah, I'm like, she all up in my,
Mhm.
James Brown and shit. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, look, where you think I found her ass at?
Yeah.
Hell mad at me. But David, I'm so glad you guys are getting ready to get up out of here. So many of us trapped Americans here. We got one out. That's Cliff and Rue.
we're trying.
Cliff and Rue got out.
We have some other friends that got out that aren't YouTubers, just followers. But we're trying. We're
Right.
still hoping for mid-November. But man, the hurdles are hard and long, and it's just not easy.
For you, I thought you had that all done.
Well, our flights got
Yeah,
canceled. It all got canceled. Jen Air disappeared on us.
Go.
And so we're having
the
to
other way.
rebook everything. And we are. But we're
Get it over with, man. If you gotta go through Manila, go through it. Get the heck over there.
but the problem is our dogs. You got to remember, we're taking 2 dogs. And there's still a lot of rules and regulations about the airlines, which planes, everything. It's not just simple as a husband and wife getting on a plane and flying. Because if that was the case, we could be out of here tomorrow. But we can't do that because we have our dogs.
I should receive my stuff from my wife. What's today? What's the date today?
16.
About 5 days from now, I'll probably get her stuff in the mail. Then I can get mine together and go have it notarized and send it off. But I may have to go over there sooner than later because.
But you need to just get your 9A and get it over with. But Ronald, we're actually still hoping to be out of here in mid-November.
Well, I like to leave myself a little room in case there's something I got to do over. I don't never plan it. Well, I'm gonna send this in on the 20th, and by the 3rd I should have it. So I'm gonna fly out of here on the 4th.
Yeah,
because if it all works, sure.
We're gonna literally try to fly.
But
We're gonna fly from Los Angeles to Cebu directly. We're trying to get that set up with Philippine.
I like San Francisco's airport.
With Philippine
I
Air.
like San Francisco's airport.
Flies directly to Cebu out of Los Angeles. So we're going to try to do that. We just, there's not many of those flights that go directly from Los Angeles to Cebu, but we're going to try to snag one of those flights because Philippine Air will allow us to have the dogs as cargo.
Have you seen, I look at these Super Saver fares and they're real cheap, and I look and I go, they got a layover of 18 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, man, a 50-hour total trip.
Now you don't want to do that, man. And we
No,
want to
hell
be.
no, man.
Oh no! I mean, cheap is cheap, but damn, my time is more important.
That's right.
I'm like anybody else. If I got the money and it doesn't drain me, I'll pay.
I'm telling you.
It is true that phrase out there, you get what you pay.
Well, here's something that was really funny that we learned.
So
We tried to book airline tickets.
I have an effed up bag. What?
We tried it when we booked our original airline tickets for November with our dogs, right? The airlines we were doing us because of our dogs. We had to go and sit in the cheapest, crappiest seats on the plane to put the dogs under. We couldn't get a nice seat because we thought, well, we'll spend the extra money.
Under what?
Under the seat, under the seat.
The seat in front of you.
Yeah. So we wanted to buy a better seat to give us more room, and the airline said, no, you got to have the crappiest seat. It's the only way that we'll let your dogs fly is in the economy seats.
What the hell? That must be some seat that had a piss stain on it that they can't give it away.
Well,
Now,
it's
you had enough unlimited money to look.
No.
Tickets for the dogs too.
Well, we tried that, Ronald. What the airline said is we don't want our better customers bothered by your dogs. So dogs have to go in the back of the plane in the cheapest seats, because if you're poor, who cares if you're bothered by the dogs? But if you're rich, then we don't want your dogs bothering them.
They didn't say better to you, did they? Or that's just your?
No, that was our
They didn't
interpretation.
say better.
No, but that was the interpretation.
You know what? This guy at work had one of his Denali's one time, a big truck, 50 grand, 60 grand truck. And he took it to this place to have it detailed. And the dealership. And the guy was it was a hectic day. The guy's busier than heck. And my friend says, he's talking about his issue. Oh, this is, we're only dealing with paying customers. He said, what? He said, excuse me? You what? He said, that's a $50,000 truck out there. Ronald, man. Oh my God.
So that was crazy. It was just crazy. But now we're hoping that we can fly the dogs as cargo. It's still going to cost us thousands of dollars, but it's, we're working on it.
They got these new boards with these guys build these little boats down in Florida, and that's a cool channel too. Cletus McFarland.
Cletus.
And Cletus. That's the name of the. I don't know if that's his real name. That's the name of the channel. But these guys build motors, build cars, and they make these little speedboats. They're like a quarter the size of the regular one, but you got the big engine on it, and that thing hits the waves so hard. But they goof off all the time like that. They make a lot of money at it,
Well, we got from dogs to Cletus.
Cletus. Change it up.
Hey, I know how. Hey, Ronald, here's how he got that. You remember Smoking the Bandit, the movie?
Yeah.
Snowman's dog was Cletus.
Yeah. Here we go.
Might have been. I thought to myself, I said, this guy must have a dad with money. They bought this abandoned racetrack, and all this other stuff. They're like souping up motors and then test them and beating the shit out of Crown Victorias. They got all kinds of, they'll put a motor or an experiment in a car just to see what happens.
Sounds fun.
And they got this hauler like a semi, and the guy spent $321 in gas to get one way to go from bottom of Florida to Tennessee. He filled up 321.
That's a lot.
And he was mad because that needle lied, and he knew what size the tank was, and he had more to go in there.
Tony, was you on Black Filipino TV this morning?
That was, yeah, for a little while.
So I said, where the hell Tony go?
I said, I left. I didn't stand there too long. I sent them that. I gave him that article that I was given yesterday, the link to it, from the Phil Star newspaper, because it's kind of misleading when you read the front page. They're making it sound like everybody and anybody that's been vaccinated go. That's not the case. For us, it isn't. For us as the quarantine, it's just been lessened down to 5 from 10.
Yeah, since we're a yellow country.
No quarantine.
That's for a green country.
Yeah, that's for a green country. But they don't say, look at the next page.
Right.
They got this big bold print that right away you go, hell yeah, man, because Philip was doing it. And I'm thinking, man, you went through it the wrong time, because according to this, you just got to be a test before you leave and test when you get there.
Mm-hmm. Negative.
Well,
so I read a little further down, and then I saw it, and then I Googled it, and then in bold print it says United States is in the yellow lane. So all you know, whoever's out there, don't count those chickens before those eggs are hatched.
That's right.
Yep.
Don't do it.
I'm not. I still got unfinished business here, Tony. I'm not leaving until the VA finalize my last final claim. When they make me unemployable,
Good.
I'm out of here.
I attest to that. You're unemployable. Sure, that's
I'll-
even live, man.
I'll vote.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I told him he bought a new car. I said, "Why don't you drive that sucker over here, man?" Dude,
I told him, hey, David, I got tunnel vision. I can't drive 50 miles without freaking out. That's why when I go to the VA hospital in Seattle, somebody else driving.
Right.
I can't take that constant
Yeah.
looking this way, worrying about them and oh hell no. And then,
I told him most of the road is straight.
yeah, that's the killer.
All you got to pull over
It's
everyone.
the killer.
Hey, it might take you a couple weeks like a wagon train, but you'll get here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell no.
there
I'm
you
not
go.
I'm not going to California.
Or put blinders on, like they did the horses, while you drive.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, how'd you like to piss off a Clydesdale, huh?
Well, hopefully you'll
Oh, man.
get the VA on the stick, and they'll be able to get it done and squared away for you.
Oh, my lawyers is working it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My lawyers is on it.
So you're
I mean,
hoping that
in
maybe
3
you can
months.
be over there next year?
Yeah, in 3 months they got me from 60 to 90.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Want to go in there?
So you're trying to get the
Print
extra
themselves.
10 to go to 100?
Well, in order to get the 100% unemployable, there has to have a combination of facts that, well, your back, your neck, your hip, you ain't gonna be able to stand 15 minutes. You can't work. Social Security already put me to pasture, so why don't the VA finish it?
Right.
I
You
stand up.
you would think.
Stand up for 10 minutes and my leg is numb.
Right, they work together, but then they don't work together.
That's correct. Which is shameful.
When Social Security say, well, when the last time you worked? Well, you can't work, you can't stay in job, you tried the job, you didn't make it, you can't work. Social Security should tell VA, you can't work, period.
Yeah.
Mine's been about a year now. I haven't heard yet.
But you got two dumbass secretaries going at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Playing games.
The Veteran Secretary and the Social Security Secretary, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people under them.
Yeah. And it's we the people
They
that
justify
suffer.
their existence.
That's all they need to do. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my boys, I'm using my Chisholm and Kilpatrick out of Rhode Island. To me, they the best.
Jism and jism.
Yeah, not Jism. No, come on, darn it. You got plenty of time for Jism when you get there.
That's right. So now, Ronald,
Just think how much money you'll save on napkins.
Napkins? Why you gotta buy socks every month?
whatever you wipe that shit up.
so which part of the Philippines are you headed to, Ronald?
I'm headed to Alfonso.
Alfonso.
Cavite, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, I got an apartment already in General Trias.
Nice.
With the girlfriend and the boys staying there. I'm like, it's all good.
Good.
So when I get there, oh, here we go. I got incoming.
Uh-oh. That's fancy. It sounds like porno.
Right.
Get off, girl. And do your dance.
Oh, yeah.
Get up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, hopefully all of us will be there next year by
All of us that talk we'll be all over. I'll be the only one in Mindanao that I know of.
Well, what we're going to do though is we're going to get everybody together every year. So every year, maybe July, we will pick an island where somebody is. They'll be our host,
Oh, okay.
and we'll have we'll go to a resort somewhere, and we'll all get together and hang out and visit. Then we'll go back to our own little worlds.
What their version of a resort is.
That's right, and that's part of the experience of the Philippines. You know,
you know what? When I was there, when I'm there, I am not. I'm totally not stressed, and the fact that I don't have to work anymore makes it even more. What I like about it is a lot of times over there, it may take one day to get. You have to plan on one day per thing.
Issue.
You know,
Right.
If I have a 10 o'clock in the morning doctor visit and the guy don't show up till noon, I don't care. I got all day. You know, I don't got to rush back to eat supper, to go cut the grass, and go to bed.
Right.
I got all day.
And that's okay.
I am now that I'm not working, I have a great amount of patience. I find it sometimes humorous, you know.
I think the
But
older we get,
that's one thing, man. Anybody out there, don't if you're gonna chuckle about the way something's done or the way somebody does something, don't do it while you're standing by them. Wait till you get back to your room or out of sight, because that just.
I think the patience comes with age. I think the older we get, the mellower we get, and the more we learn to be more patient. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
I heard this guy talking about he had a nail in his tire, and he needed to have it fixed. So he takes it to his place, and the kid misunderstood him. He comes over and looks at it. He goes, "Oh yeah, your tire's going flat because of that nail." That's why it's going flat. He goes, "I know that. I need it fixed." He said he laughed a little bit, you know, and then that's another thing. You need a tool, and it's a file. They call it something else. They don't know what a file is. Rat tail file. So you might as well look it up on the phone and show them the photo.
That's it.
Just because, yeah, they see what I like. They do what they do, and I have no problem with that. You know, what their logic or theory is, it's their place, man. I'm a guest. I'm sitting in the guest chair. You know?
I think the key for a lot of expats is not to watch. You know, you got to watch in a sense to make sure that those bolts get put back on the tire so that when you drive off, the wheel doesn't come off. But if you saw how they do it, you would cringe because you're like, oh, you know. So
well, you know what? They have earthquakes over there, okay, and natural disasters. But you look at the way some of the crude methods of building a house, and they love rebar, man. But those houses, they got churches there that totally haven't fallen, and they've been up there for over 100 years in earthquake territory. You know, and that to me, you know, if a house can take the shaking and still stand after a 7-point whatever, there's something to what they do.
well,
They
you
love
know,
rebar. They call it round bar,
right.
not reinforcement bar like we do.
You know, J3 and I was talking the other day about hurricanes or tropical storms there in the Philippines. And, you know, they are so much better at dealing with, you know, hurricanes or typhoons than we are. You know, in America, when we get one, we all panic and run for the hills and we get mass destruction. Well, the Philippines, the way they build things, you know, if their house blows down, they can just take the same materials and rebuild them again. It's not as horribly devastating as it is in America because we get so wrapped up into everything.
Yeah, you know, these guys, those weather guys. I mean, when they stand out there and the guy wins an award for being a dumbass, standing out while there's a typhoon or hurricane, and you get an award for what? You're an idiot. They showed all these comical bits of people outside the elements reporting, and one dude got hit in the head with a stop sign.
Oh, that was a chick. She was out there.
There was a chick.
Wham! Right now.
One lady kept getting splashed from the car. She was just like laughing after a while.
Tony, they don't need to get an award. They need to get that 5150 paperwork signed. You know,
I can tell you, it's 100 miles per hour.
Back to you, Jane.
Well,
Oh my God.
you know, part of our problem is
Award-winning coverage.
we just don't build
Wait,
houses. Our big problem in the U.S. is we don't build houses for the conditions that the houses are in. You know, if you're going to be in a wet area that gets flooded, you want to build them up or build them out of concrete. So that way, when they flood, you can basically just squeegee them out, wash them down, and go again. Instead, we build these beautiful, nice homes in floodplains that are made out of wood and sheetrock, and it's a huge disaster. If they would build it out of concrete, you just hose them out and go.
But you know what? I don't even know if they have homeowners insurance over there. I don't even know if it exists in the Philippines.
I'm sure they do, but I doubt very many have it. I'm sure it's an option.
Well, if I put 40 grand into a house, I'd sure cry my.
Yeah.
That's if you live in a subdivision.
Right. That's all I heard of.
That's another thing. I see these two people that live where I'm going to be living. They're there. They live in a subdivision that I toured. And it has, security there, whatever that's good for. You know, I mean, there's a guy with no gun at a thing that can be ran over. But they apparently have no rules there because this lady likes growing all these wild plants. It looks like shit. It looks so terrible.
And she's in a subdivision?
Yeah. But if you look at a different section of that subdivision, there isn't no dirt, no paper, no garbage, no nothing.
But there's probably no homeowners association fee either.
Well, yeah, you got to pay a fee for that guard because you got that guard.
If there's no homeowners association fee, no. If they don't have
pool, you got a pool, you got a recreation center.
Not homeowners association.
So
like we have here, where you can't put up certain stuff, and we got certain places where homeowners association says you can't leave your garage door open.
Yeah. Well, there you got to be.
They're not like that, but they don't do anything about anything.
They don't have anybody enforcing it there.
If I'm gonna spend that kind of money, well, I don't want to live next to somebody that grows all these plants that look like weeds. It looks like crap.
Maybe it is weed.
Well, look, no, it's wild ass flowers, man. But and then the guy was up on, I think he's Irish dude, Mick, and he was up on. They had a deck off the bedroom. He said, and there's a drain there. He said this is supposed to be pitched out, not in. It was pitched in toward the house.
Well, it sounds like some pissed off contractor because my boy Rick Shaw, he was, he's got a blog here on YouTube, and they was building his house, and he going over there to check on the boys, right? And for some reason, they got pissed off at him, and they blocked the freaking drain to his shower while they was building his house. On purpose.
That's crazy.
On purpose.
Yeah. How is Rick
there all the time?
How is Rick Shaw doing? I haven't seen his channel in a little while.
He's doing good. He's got his beard back. He got his glasses on his back. He got his hair grown long. Yeah. I gotta go check him out later.
Yeah, I remember when he shaved his beard. He went,
That's when I saw him with Titi. That's like, look at this young fella. And the face don't fit the voice without that beard.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It took a long time to get used to Al Trebek without a mustache, but
yeah, that's like Burt Reynolds without a mustache.
Yeah.
Burt
Reynolds looked worse with Alvin and Tom Selleck.
You look like a pussy face.
It's like wearing 5 pounds of hair in your face, for God's sake.
Hey, but if you keep cutting, it's gonna grow back the same way, so you might as well leave it.
That's what I tell this girl who used to ride the bus, man. Her name was a real goofy chick, but she got messed up from drugs, but she'd always say her name, and I'd try to avoid her with the bus,
Her name Karen?
she was just a dum-dum. And she found a boyfriend, and I forget her nickname.
Karen.
Sonny or something.
Barbecue Becky.
And she says, my friend said, my friend's dad used to be our county executive years ago.
What?
And he saw her. He said, man, Shorty was her nickname. He said, Shorty's sporting a pretty good mustache, you know. So I laughed at it. I've laughed with him, you know, and I go over to the bus, and there she is. I go, damn, she got more hair than I got.
What's Shorty been up to?
She goes, hi, my name's Shorty. She'd ride your bus just to ride it. She'd ride it from way by the lake and go up to this mall and then stay on the bus. I said, well, don't you have somewhere to go? No, I'm going back the other way. Well, why'd you get on this bus then? You made me slow down, so I stopped for you. Now you have no purpose.
She had nothing to do.
Oh,
She wanted to visit
this
you.
old lady, they got two old ladies. One lady, well, the white lady every time you saw her, I've known her since I've started there, seen her. She has garbage. She saves plastic bags. She has three or four of those hand carts, plus a suitcase and all this shit. It takes like 5-10 minutes to get her on the bus with all this crap. The other lady sits there and it was sorry for her. I go to the last layover. I said, man, you got to go. You got to get on that bus there. That's enough for this. So she, right in front of my door, I got my phone. I'm looking through it to see if I got any messages on my break. And she drops her sweatpants and she's pissing right in front of me. And she sees my phone. She says, you're not taking any pictures. That'd be embarrassing.
Oh my
I
goodness.
said she was needy, man. Let me put it that way. She was
You ain't try to get face.
she qualified for all that she could that would happen to somebody. Like she qualified.
Oh, good.
But my mistake was stopping because she was sitting at the shelter. I didn't know what she was about. She was there when I was going the other way.
She was all
So
about
I know
you.
there was a bus or two in front of me.
She was all about you, my friend. You know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's trying to hook you up.
That's
That was-
right.
I couldn't believe that question, man.
She saw a big, handsome bus driver and went, woohoo! Wee!
Are you taking this lady? If she didn't have anything crawling on her, I'd be surprised. That's a
I don't know if you ever saw that video that J and K was doing. Black Filipino TV. They walking around the street somewhere in the Philippines, Manila somewhere. And I come up across a corner right on the market. Vegetable stand, everything out there, right? All bunch of gulay. And this old lady, she was right there at the corner, Tony. She just lifted up her dress and squatted right there. Jay was filming it and didn't catch it. And he said he saw all this crust. Oh my God.
When I was over at Naga, this guy would help people park by holding up the traffic. He give them 5 pesos, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would roll their window down a little bit. And he was with a little kid that should have been in school. That kid was out there squatting
Hustling.
like that too, man. I said, damn, they got a bathroom in that freaking McDonald's, man.
McDonald's don't want them in it,
Unless you
though.
buy something.
That's right. McDonald's don't want them in there.
But you know what? When on a bus trip, if the bus stops and all the guys standing on the side of the bus there, they piss into the grass. That's just the way of life. They don't pay no. Never mind. You know.
No.
Hey, that's why I don't try to figure nothing out over there. I'll just go there.
Hey.
Ain't trying to figure out that. Tony,
You might have them boys looking at you when you're doing it.
Tony, I had mom and pop, 89 and 90, living with me for 13 years.
Oh my gosh.
I never questioned nothing.
If you your 10%, the next time you go to the VA, just pee in a corner.
Yeah.
Right about 5150. He's gonna need a cycle now.
There you go. You got a cup there? I got a piss. You know.
No, go over there to the little VAB section where they got the free coffee for the vets. Just grab a cup and just pee right in it.
Hey, this car look a little dark. Gotta lighten it up with some.
Why do you think they got cops at the VA? Somebody gonna snap.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And they ain't nothing but civilians in there, and they gonna need a cop.
Man, that's crazy.
Because when they cut his medication, yeah, he cock strong. You know, he can pick up the building. Oh yeah, you take your meds?
Yeah, about a half hour.
All right. I'm waiting on Saturday Night Live, but right now I'm here with Saturday and David.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess what's his name? What's his name? Ain't had one until he gets back from.
Oh, did he go over to see Simon?
Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. What
Matter
did
of
the,
fact, his messenger is on. So he's into something. I got to go back to the car and get my regular glasses because these are my sewing glasses. So you know what they mean. I'm zoomed in. Lord, I mean.
You drive like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, no, well, I didn't have these on in the car. I took them off because I had my shades on in the car.
Hey, I went to when I was in the Army, I went and had a eye test, and I didn't realize it, but they had this stuff that made my eyes blurry. I couldn't see shit. So I'm driving, and there's a friend of mine. I didn't notice. He told me later. He's driving a forklift down there on the post, in front of me. He's waving to me, and I just sat there like
a crazy old man.
And I got back, and when I saw the guy goes, I said, hey, George, I can't see. He wanted me to do something with some carrots. I said, I can't see. I said, man, I might file that down to my freaking fingers here.
Can you imagine like Mr. Magoo?
But they didn't tell me that when I went there, I like Magoo because he had his windshield like that.
Right, but they didn't tell you it's going to dilate your pupils. They didn't say that?
Nah, well, they didn't forewarn me. I didn't know what freaking dilated me.
well, you probably didn't listen.
Well, you're probably your eyes gonna be a little blurry. Oh, okay.
Well,
that was the first test I ever had where they put that stuff in there. Oh, all right. They didn't say, hey, did you have anybody come with you? They didn't
say nothing about you driving by yourself.
I didn't think I needed to. I got my exam. What's that take involved? I don't know. So.
Well, I heard lately that whole eye doctor thing is technology.
You're worse off than you were when you first started.
Because of these glasses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? I remember getting my first pair. I must have been 11. I'm like, I'm gonna wear this crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got glasses
But
as
I
a
can
little
play
kid.
basketball and tennis and everything else without them.
Yeah.
I took my Army version, it looked like Clark Kent glasses, I said, I ain't wearing this shit.
I got glasses as a little kid and threw them away.
Yeah, the glasses we got in the Navy, we call them birth control because you ain't gonna get no girl wearing those.
Well, I wasn't used to it. I didn't expect such a blurriness, I'm like, I ain't wearing this shit. So I took them off. I took them off. That was 1980. And
I go get my regular glasses.
I pulled out of the garage. The local gas station was when they used to do the servicing at Amoco, and I was stoned. So plus my vision was already blurred. So I backed out of the garage, and I cut the wheel too soon and put a crease in my fender. But because of the low-key mood I was in, it didn't upset me.
What's number one?
Mark.
Huh?
Mark, I don't know.
What's the phone number for him?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Simon just messaged me. He's hanging out doing something.
Who?
Simon? Simon's out there. Simon, come on over and join us. He's over there.
Oh, Simon's out there, huh?
He's out there somewhere. Let me see. I got to find a phone number for my beautiful wife.
Well, Christian's still going to have his at 5.
Is he having his at 5?
Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi is too terrible at the place that Irish Travelers at. broadcast.
Well, I thought the Irish Traveler was hanging out with Simon. Simon, is the Irish Traveler hanging out with you over there?
It's just as bad as his as the internet from where he's from. You know what? They don't quite have. You're gonna be shocked. They don't quite have fiber optics there in Ireland yet.
They don't have fiber optics there. Simon's wondering how come I hear them dang good Americans, those wonderful, outstanding, outstanding Americans talking. Because you're lucky, Simon.
I think they're getting around to it.
Yeah, well, Simon is saying that the Irish isn't Irish because he doesn't drink Guinness. He drinks that crappy Budweiser beer that Americans want.
Golly.
I know, but
there's got to be a better one.
But that's what he likes, Simon. You know. But Simon, come join us on the. It's okay.
Is that heavy beer?
What's up, Simon?
It's good Americans, but he's probably jealous of our good looks, our English, you know.
I'm telling you, first thing out of his mouth, goddamn Americans.
That's it. He's just jealous of our beauty. Telling you, we know how they are.
Yeah.
Simon, I love myself better than I love myself.
You keep saying that, Dave, or we're gonna get assaulted.
That's all right. No. Simon knows we love him and his birds.
Yeah.
Someday,
Where's Gata?
I don't know. Has anybody heard from Gary lately?
About 9 o'clock there, right? Oh, it's 11, going on 11 p.m.
Gary, maybe Gary's working on some artwork.
No, not Gary. Gareth.
Gareth.
The other Patty.
Not Gary.
Garrett. Well, he's probably over there somewhere.
Gary ain't out in the back.
Yeah, I thought he was hanging out with Simon, to be honest.
Simon, quit being a lurker, man. Come on. Got about 10 minutes before the Norwegian guy comes on.
We get your humor, Simon, so we don't care. We're good. You know, Ronald and I are good, aren't we, Ronald? Who, what, why? That's exactly it.
Who, what?
Who, what, why? Is it?
I don't know why this YouTube is. Wow. Well, at least, David, you ain't got no thumbs down.
Oh, man.
Simon, what you do with Gata?
No, Simon, Lorelai and I are still in. Yeah, we're still in the U.S. We're hanging out in Florida, waiting to get airline tickets out of here in mid-November. So we had everything booked and everything got canceled just about 3 days ago. So now we're having to redo everything and try to get things organized. A nomad overseas. No worries, no apologies needed. We appreciate you. If you want to get us over on the yard streaming thingy, here's the link to that guy. We're still hoping to be out of here in mid-November, but our Jen Air flight apparently didn't exist. We had it booked. It got canceled. When we investigated it out of Korea to the Philippines, apparently it didn't exist. Kebabs. All right.
Coming up, Simon. You know you gotta show you your face. You can just chat.
Yeah, come on up. We know you. We can appreciate
Sir Anthony.
We can appreciate the people that we had to save. How come I can't see the other Yanks? Well, are you over on StreamYard? Now, Anthony went to go pee or something. I don't know where he went.
Well, he can't see us because you got the YouTube, just you.
What is it, Ronald?
On YouTube, it's only your picture on the screen.
Or, yeah.
That's why he can't see us.
Now, is that
He's
what
not in StreamYard,
He's not
so
over in
he will
StreamYard.
never see us.
All right. So, yeah. So come join us on StreamYard. I'm smart enough on YouTube.
Because if you say yard stream one more time, I'm going to pull my intestines out.
Hey, can you show me your intestines when you do it? Oh, StreamYard. What is it? StreamYard.
If you say yard stream one
Yard
more
stream.
time,
That's the dyslexia coming in. Well, maybe they ought to rename
well,
it.
yeah, I got it too. Huh?
I think they ought to rename it to what we want.
I'll look
Now
at the
I
clock,
see the
baby.
Yanks.
There we are.
What's up, you old bag?
No, don't tell me wearing white and red.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was angry.
So how are you, the Slayer? Simon, how are you, my friend?
The
Oh, good.
Christian's on now.
Christian's on too,
Yep.
as we say in the Philippines. Ano ba yan?
Ano ba yan?
Yeah. You'd be expecting us.
How to do
I'm
that?
here already.
Have you got your wanker? Is that the W hat, Tony?
Yeah, it's for winter.
Wanker.
For winter. For you, it'd be whiner. For me, it's
Now,
winter.
where is the? Well, he's still got. He's in the back. 4 seconds left.
I thought it would be Wiener.
No.
Yeah, I could only see
Nomad Overseas says
you,
I
David,
can.
on the YouTube.
Well, you know,
What?
you can only see me on
I
YouTube.
could only see David on the YouTube. I could only see you, but I could hear Tony and Ronald. But,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
well, hey, that's fair play to you.
I mean, I didn't think you wanted to see
Hey,
me.
with that, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over there. David, thanks for having me on. I'm gonna go.
too.
Well,
So I've been on here a couple of hours.
yeah. Yeah, cool.
So if we all want to kind of head over there, that's fine.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, you'd appreciate that.
Simon, you good with that? Ronald, you good with that? You muted yourself,
Okay,
Ronald.
I forgot where he is.
Yeah.
Are you waiting to get over to the Philippines, David?
Yeah, we're just waiting. You know, we had everything booked and got canceled, and so we're hoping November the 15th ish, 16th, we'll be able to fly out of here and get to Cebu. So we still have dog issues, but we're getting there. We're getting it figured out. But it's not easy.
Oh, no, it's not going to be easy getting there.
I tell people I think the Philippines right now is the hardest country to get into. I think we could get into North Korea easier. But yeah, we had
But
Simon.
at least you're good to go.
Well, same here. So now we're scheduled for the middle of November is what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
So we just we're hoping that since our flights got all canceled, that maybe it's going to be a blessing in disguise, because what we were going to do was fly from here to Korea, and Korea to Cebu, but Jin Air, I don't know if you ever heard of it. We never heard of it. But when we booked their flight, well, we found they canceled us about a week later, and their money for a flight that never was.
Oh, no.
And then we're told it may take
That's
2
not right.
months, 2 months to get the money refunded back to us.
Yeah, you're bailing them out.
Yeah. So now Lorelai has been working diligently on getting us. That's our new plan.
Yeah. Well, I hope it all goes well for you.
It will. You know, we try to be positive about it. You know how stressful it is, but we try to be.
Yeah.
So how are things going for you, Simon?
Well, I've been entertaining Paddy for the last few days.
Yeah?
The
That
Paddy. Yes, got us
Yeah.
come over from Dublin.
makes you a good man.
But he's well, I'll welcome anybody here, you know what I mean? I'm working all the time, but I found time for him, and we've had a few good days.
Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I'm over here at questions now.
All right, guys. Well, I've been on for a couple of hours.
Maybe you're
So Simon, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out, and I might try to catch you guys
Okay.
over on Christians, but I've been on here a couple of hours, so I'm gonna give this one up.
All right, David.
All right, thank you though for coming. We appreciate you, my friend, Ronald.
Well, anytime, you know, David, when I catch you, I'll be there.
I know we just haven't been doing a lot lately because we've been so busy, but we're trying to get back into the groove.
Go. I'm like, I ain't getting no notification.
Did you hit my alert bell?
Of course, I had everybody's alert bell. I don't miss nobody.
I know. So
Yeah, but sometimes it's YouTube. You have to delete them and resubscribe.
That's what Gareth said the other day.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I did. I did yours too, Simon.
I know that, brother Ronnie.
I said, well, let me check both of them.
Yeah. That's what
Well,
I
all
do
can
too.
tell
I
you
double
is
check.
Gareth can eat 2 potatoes there on it.
You say what now? Gareth says what?
Gareth could eat 2 potatoes, but he can't drink Guinness.
Oh, he don't like it.
No.
He don't like it. I already posted, but
All
it's
right, my
like playing the
friends.
piano. I'm muting one, closing the mic on the other one, closing. It's crazy.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.
You too. Bye, Lola.
Bye-bye.
See you, David. Take care.
All righty.
All the best, David. All the
Look at my video. Oh.